Ikhwan dan akhwat yang dirahmati Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, alhamdulillah kita berjumpa kembali di Radio Silahturahim juga TV Rasil untuk Islam yang satu. Ikhwan dan akhwat, kali ini edisi spesial kita Rasil kedatangan seorang tamu yang insya Allah akan memberikan manfaat besar terutama bagi ikhwan dan akhwat sangat concern dan menyukai musik-musik religius. Baik, saya akan tamu kita Raef. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. How are you?
Fine, alhamdulillah. I was want to ask you the same question. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Okay. Thank you for visiting Rasil, and hopefully the traffic jam didn't make you having a bad mood.
The traffic is lovely here.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay, please tell anything.
Sure. My name is Raef, and I'm from Washington, D.C., and I do music. I write songs and I sing them. So I guess that's the shortest introduction I could give you.
Short, but it means a lot. Okay, Raef, we've learned that you became a teacher in order to help others in a more direct way.
Yes.
Do you think you can apply that by singing?
Of course. You know, I think singing or songwriting and then performing is sort of a different way of teaching. In fact, before I was a teacher, I was a software engineer, and that's my training in computer science. And I really didn't enjoy my job. It was just a boring job. That's why I quit and started teaching, because it gave me a more direct. I've really enjoyed my time in the classroom, and watching people grow and learn. You know, it's such an inspirational process for me. So now that I'm a musician and a full-time songwriter, it's sort of a different way of learning and growing, and watching people learn and grow in a different way.
How long you becoming a teacher?
I've taught now, well, for 8 years. For 8 years, I was a high school teacher, teaching computer science as well.
Until now?
No, I stopped teaching because I wanted to focus on my music and my songwriting.
But if choose, would it be singing or teaching?
That is such a tough choice. You know, I really miss teaching.
Okay.
I really do. At the moment, I'd like to enjoy what I'm doing at the moment, and because I believe that music and songwriting has an impact on a much larger scale, I would like to spend my time at the moment doing songwriting and performing and sharing my music with people around the world.
Okay. When we trying to find out about you via Google, of course, we find out that you are a comedic a cappella.
That's right.
So tell us about
you did your research.
Tell us about the comedic a cappella thing.
When I was in college,
yeah.
I joined a comedic a cappella group, and what we would do is we would take songs and we would change the words so that they're funny songs.
I see. Okay.
And then we would go and we perform them at the college diner, and then people would pay us with food.
Due to the slapstick.
So we would go on the side and we would start singing, and then after people would give us like pizza and chicken.
So they pay you with the food.
They pay us with food, yeah, and that was awesome.
How many group that you had?
We had I think it was 10 people, 10 or 11 people, big group. So
I assume that you are funny people.
You'll have to ask the people who are watching us.
Okay. Maybe we could do it sometimes if we have a time. Okay, when you make a song, do you intend to entertain first or to share a value?
You know, the word entertainment is a tricky word.
Okay.
And even when I say my music, the music that I make, I try not to make it categorized as entertainment, because usually entertainment is associated with distraction. So people go to get entertained so that they forget about the world or whatever is happening, the problems or even important issues. So I would prefer to call music or art, positive music, inspirational art, as sort of enrichment and enlightenment. That's what I want it to be. That's what I hope that it is. And so when I write a song, or when I pour my ideas onto a sheet of paper or on a screen, I'm hoping that it will connect to the listener in an inspirational way, as opposed to just whatever is good and right.
Okay, good. Then about the song, Have you ever thought about making songs that talk about justice or politics, or about the bitterness of war?
In fact, I have a couple of songs. One of the songs that I have on my debut album is called "Freedom Ain't Free."
Yeah.
And it's how it's about how we are all born with an inherent thirst and need for freedom, to be able to have the freedom to think, the freedom to worship, the freedom to express yourself. And when that freedom is taken away, then so the people around the world who are locked, who have their freedom stripped away from them, it's as if they're being killed, because their freedom is life. This is one of one of the most important songs on my album. It talks about people's fight and plight for freedom.
Okay, so you give them a spirit.
I hope
to fight.
I hope.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
Yeah, I've heard the song. Yeah, and okay, it's nice. It's good.
Thank you.
And when I hear the other Islamic musician, there's a lot of Middle Eastern influence, but interestingly, in your album,
not much, right?
Not much.
Not any, actually.
We didn't find it. Actually, I didn't find it, and it's so popular.
It's different, and you know, I think as an American Muslim, right? I was born and raised in the United States, and that's sort of my culture, and that's my upbringing, and so I think anyone who does any kind of art, whether it's writing or music or painting, it has to reflect their culture and reflect their upbringing. And so my upbringing is an American Muslim upbringing, and you see that in my music.
Are you not afraid that someone will tell you that you lost your identity of Muslim?
No, and you know why? And I think this is very important, because there's no contradiction between being an American and being Muslim. Just like there's no contradiction between being Indonesian and being Muslim. Islam started in Arabia, right? The Prophet ﷺ was an Arab, but Arabs only make up about 20% of the Muslim population. When Islam came to countries like Indonesia and Malaysia and India and Pakistan, the people of that country, of that nation, adopted Islam and incorporated it into their culture. So when Islam came to the United States, now we're creating our own authentic Islamic culture, Muslim American culture. And this, my album, I'm hoping is a contribution to the American Muslim cultural landscape.
But is someone ever criticized about your genre music?
You know, the people who usually criticize don't understand the universality of Islam. How Islam is made is for everyone in all times, all places, all genres.
All genres.
Right? So my music reflects my culture, and my culture is an American Muslim experience and culture.
Because my first experience hearing your voice is via a song called Juma. Yeah, I found it in a compilation album, and I haven't noticed that it was you until I met you at the event at Indonesia International Book Fair, and your music is like so rare. It's with rap. You're covering the song?
Yes, I've always enjoyed covering music.
Yeah, it's nice actually when
because
you cover
it's just fun
songs.
listening to people's music, and then you learn that way when you cover people's music. And in fact, when I go online and I find people covering my music,
oh really?
It's beautiful to see, because they add their own flavor and their own twist to the music, and it's very nice to see.
Mm-hmm. And you are in the same level with Maharjan, correct?
Yes, Awakening Records is a UK-based record company, and they represent 5 artists from different parts of the world. Meher is from Sweden, Masoud Curtis is from Macedonia, Hamza Namiro is from Egypt, Harris is from the UK, and I'm from the United States.
Okay, so Irfan Maki is not part of it?
Irfan Maki was part of, is from Canada, and he was part of Awakening Records.
Okay. And about Maharjan, what have you learned from him as an Islamic singer?
You know, Meher is a very he's a sweet guy.
Yeah,
he's very easy to work with. You know, a lot of times when you work with artists, and I've worked with artists in the past, artists are known to have their own egos, and it's sometimes difficult to work with an artist on a piece of music or writing a song together. But alhamdulillah, with Meher it was very easy. because we're part of the same record label and we share the same vision with our music, it was an easy fit.
Yeah, and in your debut album, you collaborate with him.
Yes.
How many songs?
We did one song together called So Real, and we had
so
a lot
lovely.
of fun writing it.
You have to hear that song. It's so lovely with Maherjan. Okay, and Maherjan also writing a song for you, right?
Me and him wrote and recorded So Real. So this is the song that we both co-wrote and produced.
Okay. How do you handle your girls' fans who gets hysterical at you?
You know,
Because you had a lot of fans.
I try to sort of step away from the idea of people being fans of human beings. People should be fans of the message. So if people say that they're fans of my music, I appreciate that. If people are fans of me, I ask them to pray for me and to listen to the messages of my songs.
Okay. And we're curious, when was your lowest moment in life?
Lowest moment?
Never?
No, I've had many low moments. I'm trying to think of the lowest moment.
The lowest?
That's a tough question.
Really?
That's a very tough question.
It's okay, we are chatting and we're waiting.
Yeah.
We have a lot of time. I will wait.
Okay, so I'll mention one of the low moments. Not the lowest moment for me is a private one. I wouldn't want to share it.
Okay.
But I'll mention one of the low moments is, you know, wars. When I see wars happening, especially the wars in the Middle East, when I see my brothers and sisters being killed around the world, it's such a painful experience for me to see. It's such a painful experience for me to see because sometimes I feel like I want to help but I can't. It's an extremely frustrating experience, and the way that I sort of cope with it is I write and I sing. And I think, you know, everyone has to sort of figure out what their coping mechanism is and how they can contribute to serving others, and use that and express themselves in that way.
Okay, what did you do when you're having the lowest moment?
You know, the first thing that I hope that I can continue to do is to turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because when you reach that moment, that's when you realize that sometimes there's things that are not in your hands. And in fact, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala puts us through difficult times to test us. And we know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tests those that He loves. So when we go through a difficult time, whether it's a personal difficult time or something that's associating the ummah, we know that Allah, so that He can separate the good from the not so good. And so that's how I try to look at it. It's not always that easy, but that's what I hope that I can continue to, how I can continue to view things.
Okay, and in your view, what is the best and the worst thing about becoming a singer?
The best thing for me personally is being able to connect with people in a way that is unique. So when I'm recording my song on the album or in the studio, and I know that millions of people around the world are going to be listening to the music and and connect with the message, and perhaps sparks some sort of inspiration and hope in their lives, that's such a blessing for me, and I thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The thing for me is the challenge of keeping my intention straight, my niyyah, because it's a very tricky sort of position to be in. You know, am I writing the song so people can say, oh wow, this is a great song and you're an amazing musician?
So you have to take care of your heart.
Yes, and that's the most challenging thing for me. You know, when you're on stage and people are clapping and they're happy, I'm thinking, okay, should I be happy that they're happy? Of course I should be happy that they're happy, but I want to make sure that my intentions are pure, that I'm doing this for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and not so that they can say, oh, you're amazing. So it's a challenge for me. That's probably the worst thing.
Okay, actually, your answer is shocking. It's great. It's great. And then this is a personal question.
Okay.
Do you cook?
I do cook. I love cooking. Cooking is one of my favorite things to do, and you know, I enjoy the idea of putting things together and having something that tastes good. But
people love it.
You know, I enjoy cooking for other people.
Okay.
Usually when I'm by myself, I don't cook. But when I'm with people and I have people coming over, I love cooking and sharing food. Yeah.
So, who is encouraging you the most to do this, all of this?
Are you talking about my music or my cooking?
Both?
Both. Well, of course, for my music, the encouragement comes when I see, subhanAllah, when I see people affected by the messages in our songs. So when you see online, and you know now with social media, it's a sort of a double-edged sword. A lot of times there's a lot of negative talk on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, but you also see you can get connected with people that are miles and miles away, and they express their happiness or their appreciation for your music, and this sort of energizes me to create more music and more songs that will hopefully inspire and give hope to people around the world.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
So now you're on this step. I mean, you're becoming a singer, and then you can traveling around the world, meet others. Do you think that you have achieved your goal?
You know, have I achieved my goal? You know, for me, my goal is sort of an everlasting, continuous goal, and my goal is really to convey messages of hope and inspiration. So the ultimate goal is Jannah. That's when we finally reached our goal. But my immediate goal here in this life is to continue to learn and to continue to grow and to continue to share my music with others. The more people I can do that with, the happier I will be, and the more closer to my goal I feel that I will get.
Okay, when you write a song, do you staying in a place like several days, then come out, or you just traveling and then you find something and then you write?
You know, both. I've had songs where I kind of just locked myself in a room or sat under a tree. But many of my songs are reflections of, you know, milestones in my life. So when I feel very passionate about something that has happened, then I just take out a pen and I start writing, because that's how I express myself. When I get frustrated and angry, I get a pen and I start writing. When I'm very happy, I start writing. So it's a combination of both, but I would say more so the continuous process of writing. I'm still writing. I'm still making music, even though it might not be shared with everyone. It's just something that I do to help me get through my difficult times and my happy times as well.
So then I want to know, which one of your songs you write when you feel frustrated?
When I feel frustrated?
Yeah, in that album?
Let's see.
Do you have it? Because I cannot feel it.
Freedom Ain't Free.
Freedom Ain't Free.
That's
Freedom
definitely
Ain't
a
Free.
song that I wrote out of frustration with world events that happen where people's freedoms are crushed. Whether you're talking about Syria, Gaza, Egypt, Kashmir, you know, the whole world is really one big mess.
Yes.
And a lot of times I get really frustrated, and that's that I wrote that song out of frustration, and my firm belief that freedom is a God-given.
Yeah, so do you have a faith that when someone, or you or anybody, musician, making a song, it will make a difference of the world situation? You say that the world is really a big mess.
You know, that's a really great question, because there are people who say that, for example, the music and the arts is just for entertainment. It's not going to really change anything.
Yes.
And to a certain degree, that is true. Music alone cannot change the world. Just like, for example, politics alone can't change the world. In fact, politics probably usually messes up the world. But I think it's a combination, and that's the idea of a movement. When you have a movement for freedom, it has to incorporate the arts, including music. It has to incorporate film. It has to incorporate writing. It has to incorporate thinkers, dreamers, politicians, philosophers. I am not a politician. I am not a painter, but I like to write and sing. And so I'm doing my part. And I think when everyone sort of figures out what their passion is and does their part, then you have a movement from where people are living in fear to a society where people are living in freedom and peace and unity. All the things that our deen calls for.
Okay, tell me about your album, The Path.
Sure. I mean, I named it The Path. Here it is. And because I think each and every single one of us, you, me, all the viewers out there, we all have our own unique journey, unique path in life. And every single rak'ah, when we pray, we say, Ihdina as-sirat al-mustaqim. Oh Allah, guide us to the straight path, guide us to the straight path. Because He's the only one who knows what the straight path really looks like. Because sometimes we think the straight path is narrow, when in fact it's wide and we can fall and twist and turn and make mistakes and get up and move forward. And so I named it The Path because the songs on the album reflect my personal journey, my personal path through life. And my hope and prayer is that when the listeners hear the songs on the album, they can reflect on their own personal journey and their own personal path in their own specific way. And so that's why I called it The Path. And it's my journey, my musical journey.
Yeah, The Path, it's beyond. Okay, enough. Maybe we can have some fun a little bit.
I know, right?
Okay,
Some pretty tough questions here.
I didn't mean to actually.
No?
Okay, let's play a little game. I
Okay.
will say one word, and we have hoping that you will respond it with the first word in your mind.
Okay, let's do this.
I will hold the tablet. Okay, one. Israel.
Too many words in my head right now. Injustice.
Indonesia.
Beauty, culture. I'm sorry, I can't use one word here. Culture, history.
Subhanallah.
Yeah.
Just say traffic, yeah?
Oh no, that's not the first thing that comes to my head. The first thing that comes to my head is culture and beauty.
Alhamdulillah. Guitar.
Relaxation.
Black.
Darkness? I don't know.
Beauty.
Flowers.
Okay. Airplane.
Long, boring flights? I don't know.
Jai.
Relaxing.
Relaxing. Okay, that's it. That's it. Thank you. Wow, you're doing great.
Oh gosh, you said Israel. That's a tough one.
This is the first question.
Yeah.
Okay, before we say goodbye, and you notice we're 60 minutes.
Really?
Talking, yeah. Almost.
Has it been 60 minutes?
Almost.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you want to say something to the audience
Yes.
of Rasil Radio and TV? Please
Sure.
do.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you so much for lending your time with us here today. I really enjoy, just talking with everyone and spending my time here in Indonesia. Hopefully it won't be my last. You guys have such a beautiful country with rich history and culture. Until next time, assalamu alaikum, and you're listening to Rasil untuk Islam yang satu.
Iwan dan Ahwat, telah kita ikuti bersama tadi diskusi kita yang sangat menarik, sangat santai, dan insya Allah menginspirasi bersama Raef. We all pray all the good for you.
Amin.
We're hoping to see you again
Inshallah.
on your next album, your next journey, and hopefully we can start with this talk show again.
Inshallah.
And Rasil will welcome you as a brother or sister.
Thank you so much.
And we're hoping that you will achieve all the thing, the goodness in your life. Inshallah, amin. Iwan dan Ahwat bisa memperoleh album Raef di toko-toko CD musik kesayangan Iwan dan Ahwat dengan judul albumnya The Path. Your path? Yeah. The Path. Okay. With Raef standing in front of his car. Your old car,
That's
right?
my pickup truck, yes.
Pickup truck in the red.
It's
So,
like a truck, yeah.
you can guess what year is it the truck? 1989. Okay, ignore that. Iva dan Ahwat, demikian saya Caroline, mohon undur diri, mohon maaf atas segala kekurangan. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.